Hi everyone, this is Trish Kendall, your host for the Choose and Become interview series. So today, first off, it's a Friday, and I don't think that you'd be able to tell it's a Friday by looking at me and Corinne. Did you wake up this morning going, Trish, it's Friday. You're making me be on video on a Friday?
I think what's funny, Trish, is that I live in Colorado and I was speaking on the East Coast all week. And when I opened my calendar this morning, I had a different podcast interview that happened at 7 a.m. my time. And so this is a Friday of like, whew, already thriving in chaos. Sure.
It is thriving in chaos. Okay, so very quick. We're going to get into the interview with Corinne Hancock Scott, and she is an expert in thriving in chaos. We'll talk about that, but as everyone knows who follows me, we're going to get into Corinne, the whole person. But I want to take a step back before we move forward for anybody that's new to the show. So I made 5 critical choices on my journey from the pit of despair, which Corinne is very intimate with. She knows my journey. From the pit of despair to the peak of success, enduring success. This interview series is really meant because people know that my mission is to inspire others. And I was like, oh my gosh, but so many other people inspire me. And Corinne inspires me. And so the purpose of the interview is to hear your voice and get your lessons and experiences and wisdom as it relates to these 5 choices. And we'll get into the 5 choices. So first and foremost, thank you for being with me. And thank you for being with me on a Friday.
Absolutely.
On video.
Absolutely.
Will you take just a minute? Actually, before I even have you get into Corinne. So I said we know each other. We've met through our network. But then Corinne and I had the opportunity to really create and nurture an intimate connection as we were both together on the TEDx journey. And that really, I think, just bonded us. And you've been really special for me in my journey since.
Hey.
Okay, will you tell everyone who doesn't know you a little bit more about you?
Well, so the background is I'm a cultural anthropologist. And when you hear that, some of you might think like, what is a cultural anthropologist? And you're not alone. I think my father is still trying to figure out, is that a real job? Do you make money? I'm kind of confused, but I study human behavior, and I study human behavior specifically in crisis management and conflict resolution. And I spent my almost entire career as an international aid and development worker. So I've been working in the most chaotic parts of the world for my entire career. And someone who studies human behavior within that, it's given me a great sense of understanding. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're dealing with. We have these, human conditions that help us make our choices when things change outside of our control. So, I also am a mother of boys, one that's about to graduate high school and one that's already in college. I run a few other businesses with my new husband, and we also, it's just a chaotic life. I volunteer on my police department as a victim advocate. And so I gain a lot of my insights as well in my community and in human behavior from a totally different aspect on the weekends of dealing and helping victims of crimes and those sort of things. But, I spend all of my times and all of my week on the road speaking and working with CEOs and executive teams mostly on how to thrive in chaos, using all of my background in working in these chaotic environments and leading teams through that.
And it really is such a unique perspective. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Choose and Become interview series. To check out more episodes, go to www.trishkendall.com/podcast. Or go to any of your favorite podcast channels, including YouTube, under Trish Kendall Speaks, and you'll find this interview and more. Choose and become.